You're watching the TCMMA podcast.
Now, let's dive in to what happened last night. I mean, UFC Denver started big time, right? Just like three of the first four fights were finishes. You had Evan Elder get the sub, Andre Petrosky then won by decision. Then you had submissions from Luana Santos, and then a big KO by Montel Jackson. Check this out. This is what it sounded like last night. So Montel Jackson both fighters introduced into the octagon, and I expect this one to be a good one. I mean, two guys in similar situations coming in, right? Jackson 13-2, Blackshear 14-6. Both guys need to win, obviously, but Jackson at 13-2 has a lot more to lose. So I expect him to come in here and be aggressive as he stares down Blackshear before this fight begins. And here we go. Both fighters will touch gloves. Round one is underway. And you got opposite stances, right? You got Jackson standing left-handed, Blackshear standing right-handed. And some lead leg kicks by Montel Jackson right out the gate. Oh, big left by Jackson flattens Blackshear. And that's it. Holy cow. Every week we get one. And here we get one in about 20 seconds. And I got to see the replay, but it almost seemed like Blackshear was in midair with some type of flying knee or something like that, but it happened very quickly. And unbelievable. People standing trying to see waiting for the replay, really like the rest of us. Even Jackson's wanting to see his own replay. He's on a knee. And you see the reaction in the crowd. People can't believe it. I mean, this was a fast fight. And it's not even updated yet. Holy cow. And here we go. Montel Jackson standing left-handed. Yep. He's going to come in. Yeah, he was leaving his feet, Blackshear, and took a big one right to the full mount. Right-left combination fights over. Montel Jackson wins. Boom. Woo. Straight left and just caught him. That quick. Montel Jackson moves to 14-2, and we got 3 finishes in 4 fights. After the off week, ladies and gentlemen, big bantamweight fight here. UFC Denver. Yeah, and I thought that was one of the best fights of the night. Primarily because I expected it to be a long 3-round battle. And 20 seconds in, the fight's over. I mean, that's crazy to me. So great performance by Montel Jackson to get the finish. And that'll pay dividends going forward, for sure. Without a question. Now, in the prelim main event, yeah, Joshua Van and Charles Johnson. This one ended with a bang as well. Check this out. Oh, here we go, round 3. Charles Johnson looking good so far. Van's got to pick it up. But instead, Johnson's coming out aggressive. Look at this. Misses on a leg kick, spinning back elbow. Nice. And a big right. Catches Van. Look out, Van. You better protect yourself. Takes another right. Oh, he's in trouble. He takes an uppercut and a big right, and Charles Johnson. Woo! With a big finish. And just at a time when the crowd is full to capacity now, ready for the main card, just 7 minutes away, and they're pumped up. And Charles Johnson's on top of the fence. He's pumping up the crowd. And, you know, you don't get to see this a lot in the flyweight division. You just don't get to see this a lot in this division, lightest division in the UFC. And you see the guy in the crowd dancing. He's pumped up. He's walking down the stairs, making eye contact with Johnson. And unbelievable. So he came out aggressive, spinning back fist. All right, here's a replay. See how far back they go. Yeah, boom. He lands the right on the ear. And Van's in a little bit of trouble. Boom. Tries to protect himself, takes the uppercut. And then another right before the ref can get in there. And Charles Johnson is 16-6, just like that. And that uppercut was ridiculous. That finished it for sure with a little cherry on top. So Charles Johnson gets the win here in dramatic fashion. Flyweight division, UFC Denver. And, you know, with all the Trump stuff, my attention is going towards that. But I'm also realizing as this event is happening, you're getting some great fights and some great finishes. Things will slow down later toward the end. But throughout the night, you had some big finishes, man. And another big finish came from Juicy J, Julian Erosa. Check this out. Major scramble now. Erosa on his back, Rodriguez on top. Ooh, Rodriguez leaving his neck exposed. And Erosa's trying to lock it in here. He's got the guillotine. It looks like a quick tap. He taps with the other arm. It's over. Juicy J, baby. Julian Erosa gets the win against a good fighter in Christian Rodriguez, man. And we called it. Expected a very close fight here, but instead, Erosa gets the win. Nearly just before the bell at the end of the first round. And you had a scramble on the ground. And Juicy J is on the bottom. But he ends up locking in the guillotine to get the win. So credit him. The crowd's loving it. That'll be a submission with 1 second left in the round. I didn't realize it was that close. I know I heard the tap. But 1 second left in the round. 4:59 into round one. Juicy J gets his 30th MMA victory, which I completely expected him to get. I think he was the underdog too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the underdog. That was our underdog pick of the week. Featherweight division. UFC Denver. Yeah, so another incredible performance there by Juicy J. He looked good last night. We had him. It was more like a gut instinct on that one. I just felt like Juicy J was going to get the job done. When I'm looking at the stats and everything, it looked like a pretty close fight. But instead, Juicy J got the big finish. Now, in one of the most intriguing fights of the night, when the crowd was at its loudest, was Drew Dober versus Jean Silva. And this was interesting because Jean Silva had just won at UFC 303 and was, there was a week off in between. So he's fighting 2 weeks later, but it's back-to-back UFC events. And the crowd was loud for Drew Dober. I'm talking about USA chants like crazy. But Jean Silva instead would silence the crowd at the end. I mean, he just silenced the crowd at the end by getting the finish and doctor stoppage here against Drew Dober. Check this out. Oh, nice spinning back fist. Oh, they're going to stop the fight now. Dang. Drew Dober with a cut and the doctor saying, yeah, we're going to have to stop it. Dang, bro. What a great fight comes to an end. So is that going to be a win for Jean Silva? Yeah. Yeah, because it was all good. It just, ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Yeah. Wow. So Jean Silva wins in back-to-back UFC events, winning at UFC 303 against Charles Jourdain. Now another TKO win over Drew Dober, who had the major support from the crowd, but he couldn't get the job done, and he never quit. The doctor had to tell him to stop. That's how it goes down here. Lightweight division, always the best division in the UFC at UFC Denver. Yeah, so Jean Silva doing his thing last night in the third fight. Then you had Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio and Salikov go to a decision. That was a split decision win for Salikov. We fell on that one, but we did get the main event right. That's the key right now. Rose Namajunas got the win in dominant fashion. And here's how the night turned out. Right? 9-2 on the night. Incredible night. Joshua Van fell and Ponzinibbio lost on split decision, even though I thought he did enough just to barely win. Could have easily been our first perfect night ever. Right? Abdul Razak Al Hassan in his fight against Cody Brundage, that fight got stopped early. So we didn't get to see a finish there, but instead we're 9-2. 13-10 in the main event. Remember, we were 4-7 at one point, so we're 9-3 over the last 12, and we stretched out our wins and losses to 171 and 111. So we like that a lot. Speaking of Al Hassan, he did have something to say. Let me pull it up. He ripped Cody Brundage, saying, I know definitely he could have continued. And, you see Cody Brundage sit down and not want to fight. At that point, you're getting paid for your show. If you don't believe you can win the fight, you don't fight. If there's something wrong with you, then there's something wrong with you. And that's one of those tough things to tell. But, a lot of times when a fighter doesn't get the fight, you're 20-something seconds in, Al Hassan's going to have something to say about it. And that's exactly what happened.
He's gonna fight, wait, he's gon' fight. Wait, hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height. Yeah. Bringing that thunder with all his might, saying step up, wanna fight? Hold up, think twice. Gladiator, assassin, reckless, no abandon. Walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass.